Hello guys, welcome to a lighting breakdown episode. I know that this is just episode 1 and I'm trying to make it weekly. In today's breakdown I'll talk about Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. The scene is the first time Furiosa meet Dementus. Lighting general. Now the big question is, should we shoot this scene on a studio or an actual outdoor desert? The truth is, it all depends on DP choice. But in this breakdown, I choose to shoot on studio because I don't confident doing this outdoor. Everything in this scene happen and end in the tent. So what we need to worry about is how the inside gonna look like. Since the tents are old and thin, you can actually see the light from the outside spilling in. In order to have this level of brightness from the outside of a tent, you will need a 12x12 or 8x8 ultra bounce with 2 4K blasting into that bounce. Then you will have a large white source from the outside that look like daylight from the inside. Above the studio, I would hang up those space lights and it would act as a daylight ambient for the desert. Shot number 1. The wide shot introducing Dementus and the team. The main key light is 2 or 3 S60 rig on a pipe, dropping down from the ceiling using the pulley system. This is very common, especially if you shoot car commercial. We would have a 20x20 softbox above the car in the middle, so we can pulling the softbox up and down, forward and backward, depending on the angle of the camera. Now, since we in the studio, we can actually tear off the top of the tent into half, like opening a pack of Dorito. I mean, we're in the studio, so we can have the art department team have some rope or wire to keep the top not falling down. I mean, it's not that hard. It does hard, but it's not impossible. Shot number 2. I'm just gonna break down this based on the angle of a set, because every time you swap angle on the set, you would need 10 to 15 minutes to relight everything. Actually, this is all depend on the director taste. Some would respectfully accepting it and shoot based on the angle, but some is kinda strict. They shoot based on the progress of the story and the blocking of the scene. So they can shoot this angle and then immediately swap to the opposite one, just to keep the actor on the mood. So as a DP, it's kind of your job to quickly identify which is his or her style so we can plan in advance. Okay, so shot number 2 is the medium shot of a whole gang. Same lighting setup, nothing really changed except a few tweaks. In this case, since the wide shot's already done, I just go ahead and put some S360 on the left frame. Give it a little push just in case too dark. The reason I use S360 in this daytime scene is the exposure is pretty high. A Nova 600 or an X60 wouldn't be enough light power. Not mention the whole Dementus team was like 5 to 6 people, so the S360 would be a safe choice. Shot number 3. Pick up on Dementus. This could be medium or close up. Whatever you prefer, is somewhere in between. Lighting is pretty much the same with the S60 overhead. The S360 on his left face, given a little bit of push. Maybe we can add some diffuse like 250 to keep it soft a little bit. On his eye, you can see a little dot. I think that is the 700B aperture. Just for the eye light. Eye light mean that they rig a light in front of the actor just to get the reflection of the light in their eye. It's a very common technique used in early day in Hollywood. To me, I just don't like it. You know, if it were my case, I would never have that kind of small light. Okay, shot number 4. Now we swap angle into little Furiosa. We can see the white spilling into the tent. As mentioned before, this could be a 12x12 ultra bounce, or it could be the space light you rig in from the ceiling. Have pulley system on them, so you just drop them down. That could work. That could create a white that's spilling through the tent. The hot spot on the upper right corner of the frame is probably the 4K on the scaffold, hitting them like sun, you know. We're on the desert eventually, so they probably need something a little hot on the tent just to make it like the sun. On the actor in front of Furiosa and the man with one eye, there is a S60 on the pipe. I mean the S60 overhead, right? It's building and it shine them. Obviously, it's a little harsh on the old man, but it's kind of soft on Furiosa. Underneath them is the matte, but it's a dark color. We have to put some poly to fill up the shadow on Furiosa's face because she was like looked out the whole time. Shot number 5, the medium. We have a S60 on the left frame just to lift up their face, since the S60 on the overhead doesn't really reach in them down here, but it does lighten up their hair, if you can see the blue that I draw on the scene. Not mention the old man cover Furiosa face. Shot number 5, pick up Furiosa only. As she's standing among these tall men, it's important to give instruction to them, not just standing like back and forth covering the ambient above her. But of course on the left and the right frame I would have S60 with some diffusion punching in. It's very important to have light from underneath or around to keep her face brightened. Shot number 6, the whole gang try to terrorize Furiosa. In this shot it would be safe to have a wall of light surrounding the gang. Over their head is an X60. On the right frame, I'll place an X360, and on the left frame, I would have 2 S60. And of course, they all have a grave cloth with honeycomb. I know it's a bit overkill, but I guess better have it than not. The worst case scenario is when you thought it'd be enough, but turns out it's not, and you're in a lot of trouble. Shot 7, Dementus give a small pep talk to Furiosa. This position is where the X60 overhead hitting nicely. You can see Dementus is fully lit, not including the fact that he dressed in white. So we might actually have to throw into 1/6 diffusion just to make sure that it doesn't too much. On his eye there's an eye light. That could be an aperture 700B that we've been using on the previous shot. Shot 7, pick up on Furiosa. It was kind of self-explanatory over here, since we already go through 6 shots already. Her hair and her right side of the face was lit up by the X60 overhead. Since the mat on the ground is dark, put poly down there, bouncing the light up. And the Dementus clothing is white, so it also helps. And we can actually add 216 diffusion, you know, keep it as soft. The harsh spot on the back of the tent is probably from one of the S60 placed on the ground, hitting the tent nicely. Shot 7. On this last shot we can see from the outside. As I said that we shoot this on studio, so these could be solved by chroma key, but as I understanding, they use virtual production with the LED volume in this movie, so the background outside the tent could be that thing, that volume thing. Or if you're not, just put chroma key on it. In order to have that size, it would be like, I cannot even 40-40 chroma, or probably you just chroma the whole wall of a studio. That's what we do most of the commercial shoot. We just chroma the whole wall, you know. The wall is like super tall and super wide. We just have art department using paint and paint it all in green or blue, and it will be done. The curtain on the way out, as you can see, have a 9K blasting in, because those goons standing on the left frame, they have their face lit up a half. Outside looks so bright in daylight, right? It's thanks to the spotlight on the ceiling that doing the ambient daylight. And that's it for the breakdown. I'll see you guys in the next one.